Okay, y'all, so my journal from yesterday was pretty full. Um, some things that I wrote about were the fact that I watched Encanto with my friend. And I feel like from that cartoon, I learned that your value isn't just stemmed from your gifts. Your value is just from you being yourself, you being you. I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to produce and to create because I don't want to have any regrets, and I want to live my life to the fullest, and I want to see my life be what it is that I want it to be. And I feel like there's this urgency or this thing that I have to do, and I just put a lot of pressure on myself to produce. And it's like something won't allow me to burn myself out in that way, even though I try. And with that movie, watching it yesterday, I was able to see it from a different perspective. It wasn't yesterday, I think it was Saturday, but I was able to see it from a different perspective. And I feel like the lesson that I gained from it was that you're not your gifts, and I don't have to put so much pressure on myself to create with my gifts or to serve a purpose with my gifts. And also perfectionism as well. This idea that I have to be perfect in order for me to be enough. So I feel like when I come from a different space, when I just allow myself to create out of the joy of creating and take that pressure off of myself, I feel like the outcome is better. So that was one thing that I learned yesterday. Also, another thing that I learned was, I had a dream that I broke out of prison and my admin team found me, caught me, and they were going to take me back. And I just kept saying, I just want to be free. I just want to be free. And yesterday at school, it was one of the toughest days, I would say. I did my meditations and just try to get my mind right and know going in that I have to feel gratitude now. I have to feel like my life is where it needs to be right now and not feel like I'm stuck. And I went into the day with that mindset. But I'm going to tell you, I reacted. I definitely reacted yesterday. And that's okay. I'm human. I wrote as I went through the day, like what I was feeling. And I felt just so frustrated, just burnt out. Students, it was more than just them not listening. Well, that was a huge part of it, them not listening. It was just very frustrating to have to keep repeating myself and being there with students that don't see the value in education, and they're not self-motivated, they don't want to be there. I try to go into my day with a different perspective because I know that my energy affects them, but their energy really got to me yesterday, and I was just ready to leave. I took a lot of time to step out the classroom to take a couple breaths. I ended up kind of just not going off on the BMT because it wasn't directed at her, but I was frustrated and I expressed that frustration to her because I kicked a student out for ignoring me, pissed me off, and they allowed him to come back in. And she was like, we just reset him, asked what was going on. He said he was doing his work. Why the fuck would I just kick him out? If he was that wasn't the only thing. Yeah, he was doing your work, but you weren't working with your partner, which is what you were supposed to do. And when I came over repeatedly and asked you, hey, how are you working with your partner? What are you guys doing? You ignored me like I wasn't even talking to you. After we had already went through this thing where you and her were separating your desks because you didn't want to work together. So now that I had to get an admin to come in and force you guys to put your seats back together, when I come back around and ask you, hey, so how are y'all doing? How are y'all working together? You blatantly ignore me. Now you gotta go. I'm tired. If you don't want to work with your partner, you don't want to listen to me, you don't want to respond to me, you need to go. Like, I'm tired. And then my period was coming on. Like, it was just a lot of feelings yesterday. And I usually try to not take certain things out on them. But I think too, like, just allowing myself to feel how I feel. And to feel like, I want something else for my life. I don't want to be limited to that space. Not saying I don't want to be a teacher anymore, but I'm ready for more. And I'm especially ready for something that's not as stressful, that pays more. Because why am I going through all this for little or of nothing? Like, I tend to force myself to, Nashima, you're being of service. These kids need you. I feel like I'm abandoning my duty by not fully wanting to be there. By almost like I'm obligated to be there because I'm Black. And not just that, but I feel like we do need more Black people in education, and not just any kind of Black person, but people that are aware and know what's going on and can really help and want to reform what's going on. And I feel like I am someone who's aware and wants to change it. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know if I really want to do this. I don't know if this is how I want to do it. And so I do a lot of convincing myself that, you're here, be grateful, these kids need you, like all of this. And it's like, is it even appreciated? And kids aren't going to appreciate you until much, much, much later. And I understand, try not to take any of that shit personally. But I think, and I'm still trying to process it as well, with me knowing that I just want to create. I just want to create. And if I can teach through my creations, if I can read and write in all forms and just create what it is that I want to see myself create and help improve my world that way, that's what I want to do. I don't know if I want to continue to tell myself to be a good citizen by staying within the school system. There's something that I'm telling myself that's keeping me there. And I feel bad for not really wanting to be there. So, I don't know. That's something that I'm going to keep on, like, sifting through. But what else did I write about yesterday? I'm trying to think of the topics. I think next time I'll write the bullet points here so I know exactly what I'm going to be talking about, because now I can't think of it without going back into my journal and messing up the video. But I think what I'm going to do, and I think this is something else that I've come to terms with. I just did some songwriting. My goal is to work on songs every single day and then eventually get with producers so I can get this out there. And I've started to journal how I feel in another space versus just keeping it all in my notes, because I tend to throw everything in my notes and then I have to go back through and figure out what needs to go where. Instead, if I just go ahead and automatically put my journaling in my Google Docs and then have my to-do list in my notes, then I won't have to like go back and let's separate what should go here, what should go there. So creating these systems as I go is another thing. And yeah, I know these videos are going to get better once I think that's another thing too. Like, I got a new phone, but it's taking half the month to get here. And I feel like for me, that's a lesson of you don't need all this fancy stuff to create. You just need to create with what you have and where you are. And as you get the momentum going, you know, those things will come. But it's not the other way around. You shouldn't feel like, oh, I gotta have this, and that. No, get the momentum going, put the content out, songwrite with, you know, what I have. And then eventually you'll have more things that you need and start creating from there too. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I appreciate y'all listening. I need to work on more eye contact with the camera. This shit just feels weird. I feel like I draw a fucking blank. But yeah. Y'all have a good one. Bye.